What's going on, Cancer? And welcome to. Oh, wait. I was about to do your other channel. And welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here. And I hope you're having a jam packed month so far. Yes, that time of the month there, Cancer. But before all that, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just the greatest, Cancer. And it keeps us growing. It's just got a little more bounce to it, and I'm kind of digging it, Cancer. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy to have yourself as Roger here. We are in for an amazing journey. And let me tell you why, Cancer, because it is Celestial News Monthly. Literally, Cancer, just like between. Well, I don't know if there's anything that I like. I'm sure there are a couple other days that are Cancer, but Celestial News Monthly just raises my vibration through the roof. But before we get into that there, Cancer, just so you all know, considering we're talking about all the celestial energies with all these planetary shifts that are going on, I am open for personal readings there, Cancer. So if you want to just get a tarot card spread there, Cancer, or if you're trying to understand how to work with your natal chart energies a little more efficiently there, Cancer, or to see how these planets are transiting in your natal chart there and how they're forming these unique aspects and things, definitely check that out in the description box. I have calendar links to set up those different appointments there, Cancer. Also, I have some links on my bio on Instagram, so that's something to check out too there, Cancer, since you're so tech savvy. And yeah, check all that stuff out there, Cancer. But keep in mind, though, I would never reach out to you for readings. This will be something that you reach out to me because, scammers are about and things. So if you get anything that seems a little suspect, Cancer, either report that or ignore it, So just keep that in mind unless we haven't had any sort of like initial contact with each other. So something to keep in mind there, Cancer. But Cancer, with this monthly spread, whenever the sun moves into a new sign, we're going to talk about where the planets are at and how we can work with the energies. And just so you're all aware, this one is a general reading, not a 1-to-1. So take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me, and never force a reading on a situation, okay? So with all that being said there, Cancer, let's jump into it. Got this fireplace in the background, Cancer. It's really kind of stepping the game up a little bit. In Cancer, your space has been cleansed. Crystals, feeling lovely. Just wonderful energy all around here, Cancer. Now, Cancer, I have Zodiac cards here with the signs that the sun and the planets are in. I'm going to pull a card from this deck for each one of them, and then we will get some details with the tarot. But before we jump into this thing, Cancer, these readings that I do, they're not gender-specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations, okay? And in case if y'all were curious, the decks that I'm working with, I've included links for them down in the description box below, so definitely check that out if you're interested. But also down below some links for some other readers that I like watching their Cancer, so check out their channels, go show them some love. They're a very intuitive group, very, very great energies that they bring in insight, so I think you would enjoy them. Ooh, interesting, Cancer. Hold on there. Thank you, guys. Also, there is a link down for an astrologer that I like watching as well there, Cancer. Some links for some podcasts I've been really jamming out to. And also there are some links for some apps that I like working with as well that Cancer consider. We're going to be in collaboration soon, and have that nice little tool in your tool belt. So you definitely take that energy, that energy out there, Cancer, and avail yourself. But before we start talking about the massive party that Pisces is throwing, because they're going big, it kind of caught me off guard when I was talking about it with Leo. I was like, holy man. But there are a couple of aspects that I want to talk about that are going to be some big ones that are going on during, and I feel like we're just going to cover a couple of them there, Cancer. But I wanted to talk about Chiron that's going to be forming a conjunction with the North Node in Aries on the 19th of February. And then just a day after the sun enters. And then you have the sun, Mercury, and Saturn are all going to be forming a conjunction in Pisces on the 28th of February at about 9 degrees. That's going to be a pretty wild energy there, Cancer. But let's talk about this Chiron conjunct the North Node in Aries first, because this energy speaks to really a profound journey of healing and growth through addressing any sort of like deep-seated wounds related to your identity, assertiveness, and the self. Because Aries energy, they're associated with that first house energy, which is about, who you are, how you show up in the world, the confidence that you have there, Cancer, and where we may feel that, maybe this is where we can address any sort of maybe wounds that were dealt to self. Maybe there was sort of like something to do with self-esteem. This could be where we don't feel like we have the confidence to take stuff, or maybe even where we're kind of overcompensating and always in this competition with other people. But really, we can't necessarily set our growth off of what other people are doing. It's more so this energy of just understanding the work that you've put in and being in competition with who you were maybe 5 minutes ago, maybe a week ago, maybe 6 months ago, a year ago, that sort of thing there, Cancer. And what ways can we do to kind of heal that? It's about embracing your individuality, overcoming any fears of self-expression, and using this journey as a means to guide and heal others as well there, Cancer, because there is really great, I feel like that's where the fire signs, they're all kind of have this energy of just these innate leaders. And I do feel that fire energy does inspire. And I feel like it's getting to this place where, where we're using our vulnerability, these low self-esteem energies as a means to motivate ourselves, and to kind of invite others to face those things as well. I feel like we've been conditioned to just kind of run away from these sort of things as they come up there, Cancer, because they don't feel well, they don't do this or they don't do that. But it's the key, like Chiron is that wounded healer, and it's providing us this key in a sense to unlock something new in our journey, that really kind of take charge and take ownership for how we may have let maybe some past experience shape who we are today, or may have hindered who we could be in this present going forward there, Cancer. So really some kind of deep stuff when it comes to this. And this energy, I want to say, is going to be kind of interacting up into the eclipse that's going to be happening in Aries as well. So this conjunction, I feel like, is laying down a very kind of powerful road for us here, for a great energy of self-discovery, and really to kind of show what you're made of there, Cancer, and be your bravest, your boldest, and just really kind of show up and show out there, Cancer. But then this is happening at the 16th degree. So this has been kind of a tougher energy for us, there, Cancer, considering, with Chiron going one direction, the North Node's going another, forming those squares with our Cancer placements. And actually, when this is happening very close to my Sun placement. But this can be, so those of you who have like that kind of 16th degree energy, you will feel that very, very, very much. So that might be a more kind of extra stark one for you. But it challenges that energy to, how do we keep, because we're a very emotional sign, Cancer, and it's just like, how do we respond when the energies kind of spur us into action? How do we emotionally react to that? So there may be circumstances where we may want to shy away from, but just pay attention to that there, Cancer. It can really be an energy of real significant growth for the soul tribe. But also, another little energy for us here, we got that Sun, Mercury, and Saturn that are going to be conjunct on. It's like they're all doing like high fives with each other. It's so wild. And it's all happening around that 9th degree there, Cancer, on the 28th of February. And this really represents a powerful time for deep introspection, spiritual growth, and a serious reflection on one's life path and purpose. Because now Saturn who's been chilling in Pisces for a little bit now, is wanting us to ground this sort of nebulous energy of Pisces. And it's like the Sun and Mercury having just passed through, forming that conjunction with Pluto. It's just like, now we're in this energies of like kind of questioning who we are, how we show up to the world. And then Saturn wants us to ground that, to take that larger than life and really make that manifest. And it's an opportunity to align one's identity, thoughts, and communications, and your long-term goal and constructions these long-term goals and structures with that Pisces themed energy of like compassion, creativity, and spiritual understanding. So this may be even something to their Cancer where, maybe you have this really lofty idea, and it's not to say that you can't accomplish it, but it's like, well, first we're gonna, in order to get to this, your grand stage here, we're going to need to practice first. There are certain tools that we're going to need to, and that's not always seems sexy. Saturn doesn't necessarily invite, like, it's not the most exciting energy, but it's the most rewarding energy when you put in that work and see how that tenacity can pay off their Cancer. And this is too a period for discipline, creativity, and serious reflection on any sort of like our emotional and intuitive insights. And it offers potential for significant personal and collective shift towards like understandings, compassion, and just practical realizations of spiritual ideas. So I feel like this is it's a interesting fusion of imagination and then making that, how we take that stuff from the dome to the home and manifest it in just like a realistic type of sense there, Cancer. So it is something to think about with these aspects. But now let's talk about this big birthday bash that Pisces is getting ready to throw in their sign, because you have the sun that's going to be entering Pisces. Mercury would have just entered Pisces not too long ago, if I'm remembering correctly. Oh, you know what? No, I got my dates a little mixed up a little bit. But Mercury's going to be entering into Pisces. Venus is going to be entering Pisces, which I love that for Venus. Then you have Saturn that's still in Pisces, and Neptune's in Pisces. So it is a big intuitive party that they're throwing down. And the ticket is through the subconscious there, Cancer. But let's talk about this. And I'll have to double check that Mercury date, because I think that's fine. But the sun. The sun is going to be entering into Pisces on the 18th of February at about at 23. I mean, I do it in military time, Cancer. But about 11:13 p.m., and that'll be Eastern time. And then we'll move and we'll be there until the 19th of March. And with this, Pisces marks the end of the astrological year. And this period is really ideal for reflection on this past year and getting preparations for this new cycle that will begin in Aries there, Cancer. And I like this too, and I'm going to talk about the aspect that this forms, because I feel that this is going to be one where we can get a lot of rapid growth kind of happening here, Cancer, in order to get to those challenges, or be able to face those challenges more intuitively and effectively when we do get to Aries energy, when it does form those squares with our Cancerian placements. But yeah, this is about closing out any sort of chapters at Cancer, thinking about these things over this last year that have already happened. What are some things that we maybe hold on to that we can forgive ourselves for, that we can forgive others for, whatever that may be looking like there, Cancer, because this transit is often seen as a time for healing and release. It's an opportunity to let go of any past hurts, and like I was saying, to forgive and to find closure. And two, this is when the collective focus towards more emotional depth and spirituality and introspection there. So I feel like this is a time, it can be a great time to deepen that bond in the collective there, Cancer, to show more compassion, to maybe even get out there and think of ways that we can be of service, to kind of spread this universal love around there, Cancer, because, when we think about it in the grand scheme of things, we all come from Source. And we're all just these unique expressions of Source. And you'll just notice too, Cancer, just intuition is heightened during this time. But considering all of the tough things that can go on in this world, one challenge with this energy is that there's the temptation towards escapism, and whatever that looks like. This can be in video games, this can be in food, this can be in people, this can be in substances. Whatever that devil energy that you may be kind of struggling with there, Cancer. It's how can we face these energies with a bit more compassion, and maybe come up with some more more imaginative ways to deal with these kind of plights that are going on in this world here, Cancer. And then you have Mercury. It's a rather deep one with the sun being there, Cancer. But with Mercury, I'm gonna get the I gotta get the date on that double checked, but Mercury will be in Pisces until the 9th of March. And with this, I love when Mercury is in water signs, like because I feel like that's a real strong energy of that head and heart connection there. But this enhances intuitive and creative thinking. The mind becomes more imaginative and dreamy under this influence. And this can be an excellent time for creative endeavors, Cancer, but it can be challenging for tasks that require more kind of logic and precision there. So that's something to keep in mind of their Cancer. But this is a period too when the boundary between like the subconscious and the conscious mind becomes a little more porous. Because now again, Mercury, the way we think and communicate, because Mercury is one of the energies that we deal with on an everyday basis there, Cancer, communicating, thinking, that logical mind. And now that there is that sort of thinning of the veil, this is an extra time for just like introspection and just really understanding one's deeper psychological patterns there, Cancer. And again, now that you're in that compassionate energy of Pisces, when we're doing that sort of self-reflection there, we can see how that energy has, where it's like, okay, that may not have been me at my best vibration, but look at how much I'm learning from this person, and see like, and then understanding the hurt that they may have been operating from at that time, and then just seeing it a bit more differently there, Cancer. It's really kind of changes up how the growth happens. But then Mercury's going to be a little busy this season because Mercury's going to move from, like I was saying, into Aries on the 9th of March and will be in Aries until the 15th of May. Why such a long time? Because we're going to have our first Mercury retrograde on the 1st of April, in which Mercury will enter into Aries at about 11:03 p.m. there, Cancer. And listen, where Mercury retrogrades can be, I know that can be like but Mercury retrogrades are a very positive energy, but we're going to get into that a little bit later. We'll talk about that in Aries season. But with this energy there, Cancer, and I like this, because this fosters a more kind of direct and assertive and straightforward way of communicating. You may be feeling, especially with us being in this kind of Pisces energy, maybe we're kind of understanding our boundaries. Now we can communicate this stuff with a little more firmness, a little more assuredness. But also this transit speeds up the mental process a little bit, because Aries is the type that let's just go, we'll act first and kind of think about it later there. And people are likely to express their ideas with passion and conviction. Very favorable for generating innovative ideas and pioneering new ways of thinking. But the challenge, like I was saying, comes into dealing with kind of more detailed or prolonged mental tasks there. Aries is a type that just like, let's keep it moving. So just something to think about there, Cancer. But I do feel that they are a very prolific sign. And I just, this is a time to really kind of literally take your thoughts and give it that Mercury's giving you that fuel to make it actually happen, to put in that work to get towards whatever it is you want to manifest. Now, let's talk about the Empress, because Venus is going to be entering into Pisces on the 11th of March at about 5:50 p.m., and then she'll be there through the 5th of April. And this is a lovely placement for Venus to be. I'm just getting chills even just thinking about it. Venus is exalted in Pisces, and with this energy, so that means outside of Libra and Taurus, she does very well in Pisces. She loves that energy. And with this energy, Cancer, relationships may take on a more compassionate and tender quality, with the focus on more kind of spiritual and emotional connections. This is one to really, I'm melting just even thinking about it. And that's like, I feel like it's really can kind of meeting people on a deeper level there, Cancer. It's a little different than with Scorpio, where it can be, you're wanting that intimacy thing, but it can be, it's on a, where Scorpio takes it really kind of deep, and maybe it can be a little intense sometimes, but I feel like there is this softness here. There's almost this like psychic bond that comes with Venus being in Pisces. Venus is a planet of the senses, and it's just like you're just this new different level of empathy that's going on there, Cancer. But creativity is really heightened there, particularly in areas that merge art with emotion and spirituality in Cancer. Again, we are the most emotional sign of the zodiac. We've come in to understand that emotional security and in those ranges of emotion. So take that into your painting, your music, your craft, whatever that's looking like, and just really be. There could be some really healing stuff that comes through. Maybe you have some intense anger or intense emotions like anger that come up. Maybe that need a healthy expression, or maybe the sadness can find an appropriate outlet. Whatever that's looking like. So something to be mindful of there, Cancer. Some real beautiful things can really prosper from this, or can really come up for this. And he may prosper from it, Cancer, but there may be a willingness, on the more sort of lower expression, there may be a willingness to sacrifice or put others' needs before our own in relationships. So we just want to be mindful of that as well, about just over giving their, Cancer, and being in that nurturing energy very heavily. But now, with this next energy, we have, so let's go down the list. Who else was invited? Saturn. That's in Pisces. And Saturn will be in Pisces until the 24th of May, 2025. And of course, he's going to be doing some retrograding during that time to retrograde back into Aries for a little bit. But with this, Cancer, this is an interesting place for Saturn to be, because like I was saying, Saturn is the planet of structure, form, foundation. And so now it's taking that nebulous energy of Pisces and really grounding that stuff. It's, we've been in this dreamy energy with Neptune traversing through her home sign of Pisces. But now it's like Saturn's kind of coming through, sort of closing some doors that we may have left open there, but also inviting us to open these new doors that have been presented to us now that we've been kind of marinating in this Neptune and Pisces energy. And, Saturn's about to complete, both Saturn and Neptune are about to complete their cycle around the zodiacal wheel, being in the last sign of Pisces. So this is an interesting energy to be in, Cancer, but this can bring a more disciplined approach to spirituality, where mystical or intangible experiences are integrated into your daily life with a little more purpose and responsibility there, Cancer. Really trusting that powerful intuition that you have there, Cancer. We are some very impressive intuitives, so it may also to highlight where we need to establish healthier emotional habits and boundaries. It can teach you the importance of shielding oneself from negative energies and emotional overwhelm there, Cancer, which I feel like, I feel like we favor that a lot with Pisces and Cancer, that sensitivity to the energies and things. That is something that's where I talk about on my other channel, doing this energies with the void of course moon, just making sure that we're doing these cleansings and being aware of what we've taken on as ours, maybe from our immediate environment there, Cancer, from even on our commute, whatever that's looking like. I'm getting reminded about this story where there was a woman that I was waiting for in a place I used to live in Chicago, and we were waiting on the elevator, and she was just getting visibly just more and more and more upset, and I was just kind of standing there. I was just like, but then there was a moment where I was just like, I was really starting to get kind of intense, like can feel that intensity come through there, and that anger. I was just like, oh, this isn't going to work. I'm going to take the stairs. And it was just a whole thing. So just be mindful of that, Cancer. And this is also a time of productive creativity where disciplined effort leads to significant achievements in artistic endeavors. So Cancer, create your heart away. You've been having something that's been left unfinished. Maybe there's this easel or this canvas that's been started but never done, or maybe there's this book that you've been wanting to get started, or maybe it's already started. Maybe it's time to pick that back up. Maybe there's been a bunch of poetry in your head. Whatever that's looking like there, Cancer, this is a time to really allow that stuff to shine, to manifest, and see where that takes you. But then we have this last energy here, Cancer, which is Neptune and Pisces, which, man, I tell you, Pisces is really doing it. Because Neptune will be in Pisces until the 30th of March 2025, and she'll retrograde as well back from Aries into Pisces a little bit, do a little bit of retrograde dance. But with this energy there, Cancer, You know, people have been feeling a stronger connection to the divine, to the universe, or to their personal spiritual paths. And on a collective level, this transit really kind of signals or can signal the rise of of global movements that kind of emphasize this unity, compassion, and healing, as well as the potential for the disillusionment with existing structures and beliefs. So, you know, this Neptune can be this energy of fantasy, imagination, and now I feel like there's going to be this question of, I feel like it's almost like Neptune's just sort of like, I feel like this is inviting us to really kind of see things clearly there, Cancer, because sometimes, again, Neptune and Pisces can tend to romanticize a certain energy, and then when it's like, when we realize that it's not quite what we expected it to be, it's like, what do we do with that energy? Do we just run away and hide, get into that escapist energy, or do we try to do some healing there, Cancer? But this offers an opportunity for real deep soul level healing, both individually and collectively, allowing us for the redemption of any sort of past wounds and really kind of clearing any kind of like karmic debts or anything like that, Cancer. This can be a really big deal, you know, with how this energies can go through that. There can be a lot of potential for growth all over the place. But it is something that I feel like we can't sit on the sidelines. And I'd like to, we'll talk about when we get into like this. Oh, did I talk about Mercury and Aries? I sure did. Interesting. Okay, Cancer. So I'm still getting set in there. But Cancer, depending on where your Cancer placements are at, this is forming a trine with your sign. I'm all over the place. And trines are very fast-moving energies. They remove these blockages and create opportunities for just really rapid growth there, Cancer. And I feel with this happening, again, in such an intuitive energy of Pisces, this can really be one for you to kind of go below and turn your sensitivity into a superpower. You know, really understand, again, yourself on a really deep level there, Cancer. Get down to the bottom of any sort of deep programmings that may have been controlling you up until this point. And how can we, first it's just like, how do we, again, like acknowledging the emotions that come up with these things, but then how do we nurture that ourselves back into this state of healing and take this new action towards this real kind of expansive energy here, Cancer. So I really like all this Pisces energy that's coming through there. But let's go ahead and get into your first card here, Cancer, which I dig it. You got the 14th card here, which is the Family Tree card. And this is a card of expansion and legacy. And I like this 14th card. This is Sagittarius energy. This is the Temperance card here. But with this energy, Cancer, I do feel like there is this, for some, this energy is inviting you to kind of ask yourself, how has maybe your family, for example, because I feel like you're this mighty tree there, Cancer, and you know, I feel like in order to understand why we've grown and why maybe some branches have gotten a little gnarled and things, it's looking back to your roots. You know, were there some traumas that we may have not processed there, Cancer, that we've been avoiding for a long time. And you know what I was talking about with Aries, or excuse me, with Chiron being in Aries, the North Node being in Aries, there could be, again, some challenging energies that have been being brought up for you. And I feel like this is affecting your legacy, you know, because this has been, like, I feel this energy is just asking you how you've been showing up so far in this journey there. How have we, it's giving like a 6 of Cups. How can we take the energies from these past experiences and turn them into strength? Allow ourselves to maybe forgive any mistakes that may have been made. You know, maybe your parents or maybe or your guardians may not have had the tools in order to help you with their Cancer. Or maybe this could be, we had something, if we don't come, like, I'm even thinking like with like friends and things, you know, because family can be very broad in how we establish that. Maybe how our friends have supported us up until this point. Have they been, I'm picturing, it's just like, what are some, what are some things that we hold on to as far as like, the strengths and the things that we admire from our family, and then what are some things that we need to, I feel like almost like it's almost like a pruning of this tree, but like finally allowing some certain leaves to fall, going through that kind of winter period, that sort of that metaphorical death in a sense, where things are falling, things are changing, and then what fresh buds we can welcome into the spring there, Cancer, and grow and expand. Because I feel like with that kind of temperance energy that's coming through here, it's like I feel like that something again is kind of thrown you out of balance, and it's really, there's been a lot of dissonance maybe that we've been feeling there, Cancer. Now it's time to, again, with all this Pisces energy, to understand this on a deeper level there, Cancer. And I feel like it doesn't matter what part how far along you are on this journey. Healing and growth can happen whenever you're ready to partake on that. I feel like it's one of those things, it's never too late. It's only too late when when the journey's closed out there, Cancer. So in this meantime, in this now, in this present, what do you want your legacy to look like? How are we wanting to be remembered, And not even just in like a fame type of sense there, even just in like our community, our family. This could be somewhere we're looking at this tree and like, man, Cancer really laid down some strong roots there for, some real generational healing. Now we're done with the sort of like damaging aspects of things. And now we're learning to nurture ourselves and to treat ourselves with more compassion and to hold ourselves accountable and things along those lines. But let me get some tarot on this, Cancer. Get some details with us. Alright, Cancer. Let's see what's going on here. Ooh, look at this. Alright, Cancer. Ha! I love this, Cancer. So you have the Three of Cups, the Six of Pentacles, the Ten of Pentacles, and then the Wheel of Fortune here, Cancer. And I like that the Ten of Pentacles popped up with this legacy card, because that's what the Ten of Pentacles is about. That energy of expansion. And, well, not just that, but the energy of legacy there, Cancer. And I like this too, because I feel with this Six of Pentacles here, how this owl is giving this pentacle to this other one. I just feel like, what do we want to pass down to others? What is this new... I feel like this, like, the Wheel of Fortune is you getting ready to start this new cycle here, Cancer. It's like the winds are getting ready to turn in a new direction here. And I feel like it is getting this, it's really kind of tuning into these spiritual forces at Cancer, because I feel like this is you setting the pace for that wind. It's like it's very interesting with this Wheel of Fortune here, but I do feel this Ten of Pentacles is you establishing a new, like, sturdier foundation there. Again, doing some deconstructing, and find out where just things may have gone awry, where we may have been, I feel for some, where we may have been just kind of giving more of ourselves, like how we're talking with Venus and Pisces, how we may have been just kind of sacrificing a lot of ourselves, or people-pleasing, or this could even be too, with the Three of Cups being here. Maybe we're cutting some ties, or maybe putting up these different boundaries because where we may have been putting our energies may not be supporting this family tree anymore. It may be a lot of just taking from the tree, but there's no giving back to this as well. And I feel like if this is, like a whole brand new chapter for you here, Cancer. And I feel even for some, if you do have your own family here, that this can be an invitation for it's like coming about this like a little differently, because I feel like, you know, it's like I feel like our generational, like I'm thinking about that trauma and karma can just be kind of placed on us. Now you have to deal with this. Now you, it's been like a hot potato. And it's like now this is a chance for you to kind of like, okay, I'm going to let this potato cool off and I'm going to cut this open and really kind of dissect this thing before I hand it off to my next generation. We're going to stop, again, we're going to stop this thing and come at it just from a more constructive approach here. You know, just like saying like, no, you just don't take on this hot potato and run with it. No, we let this thing cool off for a little bit, and, you know, mind the potato analogy, but, you know, we let this thing cool off a little bit, then we may add a little fixings there to it there, and like kind of dress this thing up before we present this off. Otherwise, you know, like figuring this thing out like as we go. It's just like, I feel like we're developing just like these new tools as well there, Cancer. But I do feel like it is remembering though that even in maybe the sort of the rockiness maybe from our past, that where it may not have been ideal going through it at that time, it did shape you to this person who does take this action, who does form these new alliances that can build these healthy relationships and things that can, so that can have this healthy homestead, and know when to give and when to receive and when to, you know, like, and be where there's just reciprocity there. So I like this energy, Cancer. But yeah, showing that I feel like, because you've been in this energy too on the other channel, there's been this little bit of energy of gratitude, but yeah, that could be something too, even being grateful for these experiences, even if they, again, they weren't quite what we had wanted them to manifest as. So, but I like that, Cancer. Now, since I pretty much talked about Mercury in Aries, the one thing, because yeah, I did something similar. It's like with Leo, I did something different because I've been adding a lot more stuff on this monthly one too. I want to give you as much information as possible here, Cancer. But the Aries energy, depending on where your charts are at, is going to form squares with your signs. And you know, I feel especially when Mercury is going through Aries, that they're going to be, especially since they're going to be retrograding in Aries as well. You know, we have a lot of this sort of like energies of asking us who we are and how we want to show up and facing these things that we may not want to. But I feel this is, these squares invite you to, like, I feel like it's that differentiating between like saying like, I'm mad, I'm scared, I'm depressed, to I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that. Because I feel when we add that nuance, we don't get into that reactive energy. We don't embody that. It's just like, okay, this is what I'm feeling. What action can I take from that? And again, the action may not be the most comfortable one in that moment, but I feel like it's one where we know we have to put in that work and have that bravery in order to get all the abundance that lies at the end of this energy here, Cancer. So, and even like the Six of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles can be this card of success, because now I feel like we can get, because that's interesting. The Six of Pentacles, this is the moon in Taurus, and the moon's exalted in Taurus. After our sign, she really likes kicking it with them, and I feel like that is that sort of providing your own sense of security, as opposed to looking outside of yourself, going within, because the moon deals with the subconscious and how we want to be nurtured, and doing some of that nurturing for yourself there, Cancer. Not necessarily Three of Cups, maybe. It's not that we don't have people to lean on, but you know, it's that healthy reciprocity. There's not that codependency that's happening on there. So I feel like this can be a very challenging one for you, and we may not always feel like it, but it's like deep down you know that the sooner that you get this thing dealt with, the more opportunities that can come there and the more abundance that can happen. So I like this Aries energy for us. That's, you know, kind of spurs us into action. But let's get an oracle on this. Look at this, Cancer. All right, so you have what is this card? Angels of the 7 chakras here, Cancer. And this is a card of power, truth, and connection. And I like this. I feel that, especially with all this Pisces energy that's going on here, Cancer, that we're going to be, the planets are going to be traversing through this. This gives you a chance to find out where we may have been, where we may find ourselves out of alignment here. And find power in that work, the learning the truth about the source of this blockage that may be happening here, Cancer. Find power in this strength, and then it's like you're like forming these new sort of like connections with yourself, with source, you know, kind of deepening things a little bit more here is what I'm feeling with this angel. And I really feel like this is kind of your higher self in a sense. You know, this is very, very interesting what I'm picturing with this. It's like it's almost just like this force that, like, you know, sometimes when we're going through these things, we can kind of feel alone there, Cancer, that no one really kind of understands you, especially when it comes to challenges of the self. No one can do that work other than you there, Cancer. You know, we can, you know, offer advice and offer questions to think about, but what you do with that information really lies on you. And I feel like this is knowing that even in those times of uncertainty in things, you know, as you come to make these connections, you'll understand. I'm picturing like higher self just giving you a big kind of hug from behind there, Cancer, and just like kind of rooting you on there. Like, you have the power to do this. You have, and it's like, I know where this can feel tough, but you have this Cancer. But let me get some hair on this, Cancer, get some details with this. You know, considering that Aries does deal with the self as well there, Cancer, I feel like this is a great energy for you to really kind of tune into your body a little bit more. You know, because I feel like that's why the moon does get along so well with Taurus, because we both are very sensitive feelers. Taurus on a more sensorial type of aspect. You know, their sixth senses are a lot heightened, but our senses are heightened with our emotions there, Cancer. And I feel if you can make even that connection between how emotion maybe pops up in the body, maybe this anger, you start to notice that you're feeling less compassion. Your heart chakra's all messed up, your solar plexus is all messed up, your root chakra gets all, or maybe there's that, speaking of our ruler. But, you know, it can help you, you know, maybe your voice gets tight when you're feeling, or you find yourself shrinking yourself when you're in this fear, or, you know, just really kind of making these connections there, Cancer. It's like, how can we work through this stuff? You know, they're coming at it from a different approach there, but Cancer. Thank you, guys. So let's see what's going on here, Cancer. I like that. Oh, there's my girl. What's good? So you have the Four of Wands, the Three of Swords. A lot of majors here, Cancer. The Three of Swords, the Ace of Pentacles, the Empress, the High Priestess, the Lovers, and the Strength card here, Cancer. And that's very interesting too, because I'm feeling with the Empress that there is this sort of like receptivity that's coming here, Cancer, but I feel like it's this being more receptive to the energies from your angels, from your guides, from source. Like, really kind of feel these downloads that are kind of coming in. Feel these places that we need to heal with the Three of Swords being here, the ones that have stuck really deep here. And then that scenario where I was talking about, you're the tree there, Cancer. Now we got some swords that are stuck here. And it's just like, what? I feel like it's like as we begin to receive these downloads here, Cancer, kind of do this more kind of intuitive work and trusting and learning to trust in this intuition a little bit more. We start to make different choices. The pathway starts to rewire in a sense. And I feel like this creates a chance for new opportunities here, Cancer. Opportunities for growth, for abundance, Wheel of Fortune. the Empress being here, even Ace of Pentacles, Ten of Pentacles. This is a very rich energy that is coming through here, Cancer. And I feel this is something to celebrate. But first, in order to get to that celebration, we're going to need to find out where this hurt is. And we're going to need the courage and the strength to face these things head on there, Cancer. And whatever that's looking like. Again, finding power in these sort of tougher energies there. But yeah, I feel with this though, I mean, it's like I was saying how like higher self is kind of hugging from the back there, Cancer. There is this sort of like divine energy, I feel, that is kind of supporting you in all of this and just reminding you that there is abundance all around you, and there is this chance for you to just like switch the trajectory of where things have been going in your life. But I do feel like it's just understanding yourself, Aries energy, on a deeper level there. Not maybe who someone has told us to be or something along those lines. I can't say, even like the 1111 card is like passing through or the 1111 card. The Four of Wands is that 1111, like you're passing through this portal in a sense. But all right, Cancer, I think I'm going to leave that there. So now let's talk about Aquarius. Actually, let's get a little water here. I'm waiting on all my teas to arrive. But you have Mars that's going to be entering into Aquarius, or would have just, when is Mars? Mars is going to enter, I think, before the sun does. Yeah, he'll be entered before the sun does. We got Mars in Aquarius, and then we have, well, we're going to have for a while. Well, until he's going to retrograde one more time. But we have Pluto that's in Aquarius as well, and I like that because both of them, they're the higher octaves, or Pluto's the higher octave of Mars. So that's interesting that they're chilling in this sign. But you have, with Mars entered there on the 13th of February and will be there through the 22nd of March. And with this energy, Cancer, this transit encourages a more kind of assertive approach to like any sort of innovative ideas or unconventional methods there, Cancer. You know, if you've been getting these like kind of intuitive downloads to start this new idea, this is the time, this is the action to do it in, you know. There may be a tendency to, Cancer, to rebel against any sort of traditional ways of doing things and to challenge the status quo. You know, Aquarius energy is one that takes what you, that structure, that foundation that you do get from Capricorn energy, and it's not completely dismantling it, but it is saying where it's just like, oh, we can be a little more innovative here. Oh, we can do this here. Oh, that's kind of restrictive here. Let's change that up. You know, that's Aquarius energy, and really gets the mind thinking there, Cancer. But this period might see a more kind of aggressive approach to like intellectual debates and the expression of ideas there, Cancer. So that's something we want to be mindful of because, you know, Aquarius being the fixed air sign, when they're locked on a thought, it can be very hard to get them off of that. You know, they think that's it, like move. And so there may be a little more aggression when it comes to that energy there, Cancer. But also, too, people may be more likely to take action to make a difference in their communities or in the world there, Cancer. So this is where we can take that kind of aggressive energy, because I feel like what's happening is, you know, Aquarius isn't one that likes to have their freedom stifled or controlled in any sense of way. Any sort of like authorities, they're not really with it. And so this is a time, I feel like, to, instead of keeping things bottled up, choosing to be a little more bold, you know, kind of voice your opinions as far as like certain things, you know, whether this be you have a certain stance on something. Be the change that you want to be in this society. You know, it's like, again, like I was saying with like this Pisces energy, it's like we're getting to this place where, you know, this sitting on the sidelines and just kind of being an observer in life isn't just going to cut it. You know, if we want things to change, again, we have to take that action towards that and get this sense of of power and autonomy back there. I kind of like Mars being in Aquarius, but it can be, I feel like, a double-edged sword, you know, because sometimes fixed signs can respond in extremes. So we just want to be mindful of that there, Cancer. And now we have Pluto in Aquarius, in which we're going to be talking about that indefinitely. Well, not indefinitely, for like the next 20 years, because Pluto's going to be in Aquarius till 2043. And with this energy there, Cancer, you know, this transit is likely to bring, you know, significant societal and political reforms. You know, it marks a period. Oh, my candle went out right as I said that. So, something interesting to ponder. But it's going to mark a period potentially, you know, of revolution. You know, back in like the late 1700s, there's a whole bunch of revolutionary energy going on there. And the structures that no longer serve the collective good are going to be dismantled to make new ways for living and governing. And of course, that's not to say it's going to be met with resistance. Actually, hold on one moment, Cancer. All right, Cancer, the package came in, but where was I at? But basically, it's like Pluto. So. Yeah, there's anything that was no longer. I had the flow and now it's gone there, Cancer. But this could also herald. We're just gonna move on. This could herald really kind of like profound changes in how we interact with technology, and I've been really kind of working with that there, Cancer. Technology's really been kind of blowing my mind here recently, or here as of late, and then potentially bring about like kind of groundbreaking technological advancements and just a deeper understanding of its impact on society. Because where I feel technology is a very wonderful tool there, Cancer, I do feel that there is this energy of just kind of paying attention to how even technology has even limited our freedom in a sense, how we're so attached to our phones and to devices, and you know, that's even become a way where it's like, and nothing against this, but it's like where we'll, you know, we're kind of handing it off to our kids, you know, just sort of like, oh, just here, get into this when they're feeling some sad way, and you know, like, really very kind of, I don't want to say just challenging energy, but it is going to be a big push for freedom. Collectively, we're going to all rise up in a different type of way there, Cancer. And I feel like it's going to be potentially very exciting. I feel like it can happen. Again, of course, there may be some pushback there, Cancer, but I feel if we stand firm and stand united in this thing, you know, we can weather collectively through any change that comes our way. You know, we're meant for change there, Cancer. So, yeah, just something to think about with these energies. But let's get some tarot on that, or excuse me, get an oracle on this. Alrighty, Cancer. Let's see what's going on here. Ooh, interesting, Cancer. And I was getting a little bit of Hierophant energy coming through, but you have the fifth card here, which is the Wisdom of the Magi. And this is a card of mental clarity. And I mentioned the fifth card, that's Hierophant energy, the divine counterpart to our ruler, the High Priestess here. And I feel with this mental clarity there, Cancer, you know, I feel like coupling with this Aquarius energy that's going on there, especially with Mars, I really feel that, you know, because Mars and Pluto would have just had their conjunction not too long ago, or there'll be, depending on when you're watching this, you know, Mercury would have just had their conjunction with Pluto, which is kind of thinking. The planets haven't spoken with Pluto in this language, again, since like the end of the 1700s. So they're kind of reestablishing what that means going forward now. And I feel like when we have this kind of like Mars conjunct Pluto, you know, I feel that there is going to be this clarity as far as like where we need to go next, how we need to show up in society, because I do feel that there is more of this kind of collective type of energies there, like bringing in that sense of uniqueness, knowing who you are, having met yourself on this deep level here, starting to make these, get down to the roots of who you are, and kind of help reform this tree to invite others to do the same in a sense. I do feel there is, because Aquarius is a very intelligent sign, very brilliant, genius-like energy when it comes through with them. And I feel like this can invite you to, Cancer, I feel like, to understand your brilliance that you bring as well, and the things that may have been passed down from you, from your family, from your ancestral guides, from your spirit guides, from your source. Just, I feel like this energy too is kind of inviting us to kind of take what has been, because wisdom, and I like this, and Aries had said this in a way, and I really liked it. It's wisdom is knowledge in action. So it's like, now that you've learned up into, again, reflect on this past year, maybe last 10 years, and that may even be even more accurate there, Cancer, since Pluto was in Capricorn in 2008 up until this point there. What are some things that have changed that you really liked, and what are some things that you don't like? And what we've learned that don't resonate with us with anymore, and what can we do intuitively? What kind of downloads have we been getting in order to, again, change this wind, or change the direction that this energies have been going there, Cancer. But let me get some tarot on this and get some details with this Magi, giving me very kind of like this King of Swords, Queen of Swords energy that's kind of coming through with them. Even like an Ace of Swords, like inviting us to see things clearly. That disillusionment that I was talking with, like Neptune and Pisces. It's like we have all this intuitive energy that we're in right now, and Mars gives us the drive to seek out that individuality. But, thank you, guys. Let me see what's going on here, Cancer. Oh, interesting, Cancer. I love that we're talking about this Uranus energy, and their ruler pops up, or this Aquarius energy, and so you got Uranus here, the Fool. You have the Hermit. You have the Knight of Pentacles, the Five of Wands, and the Two of Cups here, Cancer. So, with the Hermit here, Cancer, and I like this. One of the things that really kind of drew me here was that in this lantern here, it's like this star shape that's coming through here, Cancer. And I feel like that's you unlocking your potential, seeing what you bring to this world, and really kind of, I feel like you're just operating in something. I feel like this is you embracing more kind of bold ideas. I feel here with the Fool being here with the Hermit, reflecting on some things that we may have been kind of keeping hidden there, and taking that internal conflict and get into like this brainstorming action. Because the Five of Wands, yes, it's that energy of conflict, but it's in conflict that pushes us towards solutions. And I even feel too, Cancer, not even just like what's going on internally, but I feel like too how we interact with others as well. For example, I was listening to a podcast, and they were talking about ADHD, and my partner has ADHD, and the way that they were describing it is just like, it's a different way of thinking than my mind can process, or that not that it can't process, but it's just a new way of thinking. And prior to, I did not meet them telling me this with that much compassion. Sure, I cared, but it was very different than how I treated it. I got a whole book on it and everything. So it's just like, this can even affect you, again, like how you Two of Cups, form these relationships together, you know, like even help provide this clarity for others. You know, like one thing I remember doing kind of like towards my, I've noticed this, there's this conflict at this place I used to work at, and you know, it's like instead of staying in that conflicting energies and feeding into that, it's just like, well, what are we going to do about it? You know, kind of switching the wheel a little bit. I feel like it's almost like this, you know, this usual form of thought, something's like stopping it, and now it's like, oh, I can change this thing. But I do feel with the Knight of Pentacles there is that change doesn't happen overnight there, Cancer. It can happen faster sometimes than we expect, but there is work that needs to be done with the Knight of Pentacles. This is Taurus energy for me too. And the Knight of Pentacles, I feel, is that energy of make sure we have this game plan in a sense of like how we're going about tackling whatever this is that is getting ready to, these new challenges that are getting ready to unfold there, Cancer. But I do feel that you're going to start seeing and even I feel like feeling things in just a different type of way there, Cancer. So, all right, Cancer. I think I'm going to leave that there. So, let's get to this last energy here, which is Taurus. Because you have Big Papa, Wheel of Fortune here, Jupiter that's in Taurus, and then Uranus that's in Taurus. And let's start with Jupiter, because Jupiter will be in Taurus for a few more months. It will be there until the 25th of May, 2024. And with this energy, Cancer, you know, investments and savings could see, you know, favorable expansions. You know, Jupiter has been in Taurus since last year, the 16th of May. And I feel like this is a time too, as we're getting closer to this energy kind of wrapping up, it's just like, how have things expanded in a sense? You know, what has, and two, you know, Taurus like imbues Jupiter's expansive nature with like patience and encouraging like long-term investments and efforts. So this is an energy too I feel like is going to be going long, of course, long after the Jupiter moves out of there. But it's like, what are some, you know, maybe some saving patterns or some things, investments and things that you've seen kind of be fruitful for you? And this doesn't just even mean in like a monetary sense there. Monetary sense, or monetary sense there, Cancer. This can be even just like how we've invested in ourselves and how we've seen that sort of expansion as well there, Cancer. Because Taurus does deal with that energy of self-esteem as well. And it's remembering too that success comes from persistence and from a steady approach. Knight of Pentacles that we were talking about. And two, I feel like this energy really invites us to return to simplicity. And finding the joy in just the simple pleasures of life can really be emphasized there. You know, just taking a moment and just like appreciating the moss on the ground, or, you know, children playing, or, you know, just like all the things that you do have, you know, those little moments, you know, just like pleasant conversation, you know, because Taurus is a sign of the senses. You know, like when you have yourself like really just that delicious maybe coffee first thing during the day, or, you know, taking in all the notes and things that you're getting from it too, not just getting out of that sort of automatic type of placement there, Cancer, where we just like wake up, brush teeth, have coffee, make breakfast, bed, you know, like feeling that with a little more color in a sense. You know, I feel what this energy is kind of inviting us there. And there's, you know, this can bring an appreciation in being in that kind of practice of Cancer, that energy of abundance. You know, shows that there's an appreciation for what is already possessed rather than just constantly striving for more. Because of course, could we want more in this? Absolutely. But I mean, you came out before we even got to Taurus with all this abundant energy, Empress, Ten of Pentacles, Wheel of Fortune, you know. And so now it's like really just, I feel like when you allow yourself that energy of abundance, and even for like the people that we have in our lives, you know, you stay in that energy of abundance, more abundance comes to you tenfold there, Cancer. I remember when I made my move here, it's been so long since I've been like surrounded by a whole bunch of nature. So I was just like, the forest was just whispering abundance to me there, Cancer, and I'm just sending it right back. It was just lovely. But Also, Cancer, we have Uranus that's in Taurus for at least another year, in which he's going to be retrograding back into Taurus. I don't want to say shortly after, but again, we'll talk about that a little later. But Uranus will be in Taurus until the 7th of July, 2025. And this is interesting because he's going to be doing something very similar to what Pluto did. It's like he'll enter the sign, touch my moon placement, and then go back. And then, like, it'll be like a bam, 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 like just like a few taps that are going to be happening there. I'm just like, love it. But this energy here, Cancer, is a very unusual one. It has been one for, Taurus energy to be in, because this really challenges societal values, particularly those related to materialism, consumption, and what is considered valuable. Because we have become very just consumeristic there. Consumeristic? I feel like I've just been making up words here lately. I'm going to look that up, make sure that's correct. But we've been in this energy of just kind of just taking all the time and just like this instant gratification and things. And this energy invites us to again consider what do we actually hold valuable for us, because all this stuff and things, we can't take it with us. So there needs to be, I feel like this it's just like this deeper appreciation for this life here, Cancer. But this it also too challenges people to find stability and inflexibility, and to embrace new definitions of what it feels to mean, or what it means to feel secure and comfortable. For example, it used to be where people could find comfort in their 9 to 5s and everything would be fine. You'd have this 401k, all the stuff was laid out for you. But now, I mean, you got companies that are doing these just like crazy layoffs and all of these things, and that's not to say you're going to be experiencing a layoff there, Cancer, but I mean, you've even seen it in the shift from, I remember working at this restaurant and I needed to shift to a different job for a while we were going through these downtimes. Like, Uranus just puts you in very, and it's not change for change's sake. It's just realizing where we may have surrendered some of our freedoms to, where we may have gotten a little complacent in our growth, and now it's inviting us to try something new, to, maybe start that side business you were doing. It's not, again, don't necessarily need to quit your job, but this could be, maybe I need a little bit more than this, and yeah, just really kind of redefining what security and secure and comfortable kind of looks like there, Cancer. But also, too, this can coincide with sudden environmental changes, natural disasters, or even groundbreaking discoveries related to the planet, because Taurus does deal with our environment, nature, our planet, and how we receive that energy. So, because they're great growers and very rooted in the earth. So, this can be a time where we've been thinking about how we've been treating our home up until now here, Cancer, and what things we can do to change that. So yeah, just something to think about there, Cancer. And the nice thing too, Cancer, depending on where your placements are at, this is forming a sextile with your sign. And sextiles are very easy flowing energies. So this can be, with this, trying to find this stability in Taurus. This is, again, paying attention to what you're feeling, both emotionally and physically. And taking the wisdom that you've gotten spiritually. It's like combining all these energies together here, Cancer. And it's just like, what ways can I ease this discomfort? How can I build this sense of security? How can I find that physical security, that emotional security? How can I get all these foundations here solid? What things can I create? What things can I build and grow in order to get to that place? And then staying with that energy there, Cancer, keeping that persistence with that Taurus energy. But let's get your last oracle card here, Cancer. All right, Cancer. Alright, Cancer. So you have, interesting, Pisces energy. Because you have the 18th card here, which is Prophets and Ancient Seers. And this is a card of decision and predictive guidance. And I mentioned that the 18th card, so that is Pisces energy, the Moon card. And I like this energy, Cancer, because I feel that this is getting to this place of, I almost feel like it's like making these and trusting more of these sort of like intuitive decisions that are coming towards you there, Cancer, when your high priestess senses is saying, to try this move. It's learning, I feel like, to trust in the energies, trust in the unknown beyond the things that we're seeing there, Cancer. Because like when I think, I was talking with someone about this, because like even when you think about like the tarot and astrology, people will say like, oh well, what's my future? And it's just like, well, I'm not the fortune teller, Cancer. You are. You show me what energies that you're in, and I see what energies you're working with in your chart, and it invites these questions. Have you been thinking about these things? What do you feel about this topic? This is meant to be this kind of guide for you to be Lover's energy, kind of inquisitive, reflect on the decisions you've made thus far, and being more present in the activation of, or in the realization of your future, as opposed to letting decisions being made, whether this be through, through like other people, like however this may be looking there, Cancer. I feel like it's learning to get into your own flow. And like these tools like astrology, tarot, they're fantastic for that. But how I may go through, because Uranus and Taurus are transiting through my 10th house right now, and it's like how I operate with that depends on how you operate with that. We can be going through the same energies, but two very different results happen there. It really is dependent on the person. Someone may have been, whereas I've gone through a few kind of career changes over this period of time with Uranus and Taurus. Someone else may have been already just kind of locked their stuff down and been just kind of riding this flow out here. It just depends on a whole number of factors here. But I do feel like it is learning that you can start shifting the energies where you're going. It's like, okay, this is what 10 of Pentacles looks like for me. And then having your decisions line up with that energy there, Cancer, and with your choices, and kind of reflecting on, again, where we may have been allowing our stuff to be maybe kind of predetermined, as opposed to us being the creators and manifestors of our own world there. Giving yourself credit, Prophet, for the things that you can do. But let me get these last tarot cards here, Cancer, so I can get you out of here. Thank you, guys. Love it. Absolutely, Cancer. So you have the Four of Cups, the lovely Queen of Cups, the Three of Wands, the Star card, and the Magician card here, Cancer. And let's switch back over. Because I feel with this energy here, the Three of Wands, I feel like this is asking you, where do you see life going? This is, I feel like, different opportunities unfolding before you there, Cancer. It's a new day. Where do you want to go with this? This is a time for you to really be your authentic self. The Three of Wands, this is the Sun in Aries. And we were talking about that, a lot of that Aries energy forming this square aspect, challenging who you are, what you thought may have resonated with may have changed. And I do feel with the Queen of Cups being here, she's one that appreciates all the experiences that have happened to her up until this point, because it has shaped her to the powerful intuitive that she is standing before you today. And I feel like it's in those experiences, that kind of spiritual sense, that can help her. It's like this really kind of helps her really kind of unlock her potential in a sense. It's like this learning where I almost feel like it's like where this power has been kind of taken from you in a sense. Again, because the Star card is Aquarius energy. And I feel that this is you finding your North Star there, Cancer. and allowing yourself to kind of manifest your own dreams. You have all the tools. You know, the magician is a reminder you have all the tools that you need in order to get to where you want to go. It's just with the Four of Cups. Do we want to partake in this or not? Do we want to focus on what's already been? Because these cups are empty now down here, Cancer. You know, the past is frozen. That stuff is done. But it's just like if we resist where these futures are going to go, because maybe we want to stay in this kind of comfortable space, you know, kind of be where we're sort of checked out and not really have to take responsibility maybe for our decisions or whatever that may be looking like there, Cancer. I feel like this energy is, you know, now asking you to kind of get outside of that box there to, yeah, you begin to be the manifester of your world there, Cancer. We're in a new, I feel like new place of awareness, and it can be a little uncomfortable. You know, the system hasn't quite made it easy for us to be the powerful manifestors that we are, but, you know, we can change that. You know, we've got that mental clarity. We've seen how things have gone in our previous legacies and things, and now we're starting something new. You know, tapping into finding the blockages and, yeah, this new sense of growth here, Cancer. But, and I feel too, the Star card can be a card. One can be, you know, remember to keep hope, Cancer, even in the darkest times. You know, hope can be a very powerful tool. But also too, know that I feel like you're not alone in this. You know, that unexpected help. You know, this is another factor with the Star card. And I feel like not even too just from other people, but again from your guides, from Source. So, all right, Cancer. I think I'm gonna leave that there. Yeah, kept you a pretty good chunk of time there. But if you like that, Cancer, if anything resonated with you, give it a thumbs up, and share this thing, Cancer. If you know someone who's been, who knows that, Cancer, maybe just been kind of stuck in a certain type of way, been doing maybe how things have always been done, but now it's time for a change. Maybe there's some blockages that they're not seeing. Maybe there's been, yeah, I just feel like this is you, Cancer, really kind of taking control of the destination of your life here. So I feel like we'll always remember that, Cancer. And then subscribe there, you magician, high priestess. Hit that bell button to get notified of all these videos each day or each week. And then, yeah, last little just reminder, Cancer, I am open for personal readings. So, you know, if you want to see where the energies are at in your chart, you know, you can start doing some predictive guidance there, where you want to, considering where these are at, these questions that are being posed, what do I want to do with this? Where would I like to see this energy going, you know? Or if you want to learn again, how you're working with your energies in your natal chart, or just get a tarot card reading there, Cancer. Definitely check that out in the description box below and in the links, the bio, link section of my Instagram. You know how that works there, Cancer. I trust you. And then also, Cancer, I don't know if you've heard, which, I mean, by now that would be wild, but it happens. Cancer, I have a whole other channel for you. It's just strictly devoted for you, and it's called The Chariot and Friends. And I do tarot card spreads based off what sign the moon is in, what phase she's in. We talk about when the moon is going void of course. You know, just in understanding just ourselves, just as Cancerians, because, you know, we're a bit of a complex sign there, Cancer, with the emotions that we feel, and, you know, it can be a lot. So I feel like the more that we can work with ourselves there, Cancer, I feel like, and it kind of changed the opinions of how people kind of view Cancerians as well. Because I remember talking with someone about this. It was a Sag I just met, and they were talking about Cancers and all this stuff, and I was like, I'm a Cancer. You shut up. Just talking all that smack, but. Yeah, Cancer. Let's raise that vibration to the roof. So yeah, definitely come over to that, and it's a good old time. And how that housekeeping is down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise cards here, Cancer, so I can get you out of here. And you have the Knight of Swords here, Cancer. And I feel with this energy that this is a time to really kind of get focused, you know, kind of see where we have, again, that mental clarity when we're seeing these, again, noticing these blockages, or just seeing these sort of like because I keep getting the word like it's predictive guidance, but I feel like there's been this predictive programming, you know, like kind of seeing where our decisions may have been influenced or in some sort of way there, and just really kind of staying focused on your path there, Cancer. But I do also feel with this Knight of Swords that, you know, he can tend to want to just move so fast through the future that he doesn't take the time to reflect on these sort of past things that may have happened, you know, these sort of understand the sources of these maybe predictive programmings or things like that. So we do want to take a moment and not dwell on the past, but call on it for understanding and wisdom, so that we can take that knowledge that we get and apply that, put that knowledge to work there, turn it into that came out more eloquently in my head there, Cancer, but you get where I'm going with this. But let me get your other oracle card here so I can get you out of here, Cancer. Alright, Cancer. Alright, Cancer. So you have the Dharma card here. And oh yeah, this is the fourth card here, which is the Emperor energy. And Cancer, the Dharma card is living out like your inner callings, your visions, and like your ideas, your inspirations that resonate with your true self. And so, you know, I feel that this really is a time for, again, with this Pisces energy, to just meet yourself very deeply. You know, do some real kind of introspective work, get into that. Yeah, again, find where these blockages may be, get a clear understanding, and just find out where you're truly trying to, where's your North Star? You know, what is your actual calling there? You know, what has been this, I feel like, again, just kind of put in our heads in a sense. I feel like we've been kind of like there's been like blinded, or there's been like sand in your eyes, and now things are kind of clear out there. And it's like, oh man, okay, got a little bit of work to do, as we always do on this journey there, Cancer. But it's not one to be disheartening. You know, this is one to be the fact that you can change the direction of this thing. And again, whatever chapter of you are on your journey, you know, change can happen. You just have to will it, Magician. So I'm with it, Cancer. I think I'm going to leave that there. So you stay safe out there. With all these changes and things that are going on there, a lot of big energy that's going to be happening with Pisces, the Pisces season, but I'm excited for it. I feel like things are really going to start, I feel, shifting in a way. We're just going to get a deeper interest, like just a deeper understanding of ourselves. And you raise the vibration to the roof there, Cancer. You know, get connected to Source, do some meditation, you know, get out in nature, whatever that's looking like. Do some creative work there, Cancer. All types of creativity, Cancer. Really go. I was telling Leo too, this is a time to just go wild. And I will catch you on the next one. Well, I'll catch you on the Chariot, friends, Cancer, tomorrow.